I saw that coming.
Stop by any People's Drugstore for the quality film developing your prints deserve.
I get all my hockey information right here on the Washington Capitals Stars and Stripes.
Get your subscription now. Call 386-7000.
Pirelli radials are original equipment on the world's finest cars, and you can get Pirellis at Merchants Tire and Auto Centers. Merchants will start mounting your Pirellis in 29 minutes or less. No long waits and no extra charge for custom wheels. So imagine the traction you'll get with Pirelli P77s, and imagine how fast you'll get them. Thank you. At Merchants Tire and Auto Center.
Service that you trust, guaranteed.
Merchants Tire and Auto Center.
In the Tidewater area, you know the Henry Johnson Tire and Auto Centers.
And in Durham, you know the Rigsby Tire and Auto Centers.
Well, they're all part of the Merchants Group,
where you can get service that you trust, guaranteed. And we're back live here at the Washington Capitol Center. It's the Hartford Whalers trailing by 1. They get the only goal of the second period. But after 40 minutes of play, trailing the home team, the Washington Capitals, by 1, 2-1 the score. Welcome back, Jeff Rummer with you. Between our second and third period, let's get you caught up to date on the out-of-town scoreboard. First off, the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. The goaltenders handling for the Red Wings. It's Andy Moog in goal tonight for the Boston Bruins. And Steve Yzerman with 2 goals and an assist. Goals numbers 17 and 18. And the score, the Red Wings leading by 4. Winnipeg, Chevrier in the nets, leading Toronto and Ken Reggett by a score of 1-0. There in the first period, Randy Carlyle, a one-time Norris Trophy winner, getting his first goal of the year in that one. And remember that the Toronto Maple Leafs won the other night over the Pittsburgh Penguins, and for all intents and purposes, kept the job, they say, for John Brophy, who is rumored on his way out as head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Bullets have just got the go-ahead bucket. They lead 95-93 at the fourth quarter. And at the Garden in Boston, the Celtics now must play at least the next 3 months without Larry Bird, their all-star center. And, of course, Bird playing magnificently year in, year out for that team. He is going to have surgery on both feet. He is gone at least for the next 3 months. Bullets now ahead by 2 in the fourth quarter there. The same two teams come right back here to the Capitol Center tomorrow night. If you can't join us in person, tickets still available. Join us for the telecast right here on Home Team Sports with Phil Chenier and Mel Proctor. Our next Capitals telecast will be next Wednesday night, Thanksgiving Eve, as the New York Islanders come calling. The Capitals, by virtue of a win tonight, would find themselves out of last place for the first time in a long time and 2 points ahead of the New York Islanders. A tie will move them out of the basement as well, but they'd like to win this one and pull within 1 point of the fourth-place New Jersey Devils in the Patrick Division standings. Upcoming, more of our second intermission. Stay tuned for that. Third period actions ahead. The Washington Capitals leading the Hartford Whalers by 1.
Today, our expedition came upon the grandest canyon I ever did see. Our leader promptly named it Grand Canyon. Heck, my mule could have thought of a better name than that.
When something's spectacular, you don't need a spectacular name. So, at Hardee's, we call our burger the Big Deluxe. Thicker, juicier, more burger to win you over.
I would have named it the Amazingly Huge Hole.
The Big Deluxe. More burger, less name.
TWA kept something in mind when we made our 747 business class seat the widest in the sky. People sometimes cross their legs. Today's TWA. Find out how good we really are.
I get paid to fly on TWA. I'm part of the new quality control team. I report directly to the chairman on what's good and what needs improving. When he's happy, you're happy.
Today's TWA. Find out how good we really are.
You'll find savings and service everywhere you turn during Trustworthy's Fall Problem Solver sale.
Maco Liquid Nails, America's favorite all-purpose adhesive, is now just 99 cents. Both indoors and out, damp acrylic latex caulk with silicone lasts 20 years or more.
For a moving experience, choose these 2-inch dual-wheel furniture casters from Faultless.
Trustworthy saves you time and money with the problem solvers.
If I got a deal for you, buy a sleek new Color Supreme by November 30th and get $500 back from old. Plus a year's supply of Exxon gasoline at no extra charge. That's a deal even my dad couldn't pass up.
This is not Your father's Oldsmobile.
I'll trade you the Cutlass Supreme, the cash, and all that gasoline for what's behind door number 1. No deal, Dad.
This is the new generation of Olds.
A year's supply of gas and up to $1,000 cash back at your Washington area Olds dealer today.
Tudor by Rolex. Wear time in armor, style in action. Tudor Prince Oyster Date is forged to perform like the Tudor Princess Oyster Date in royal games and rugged sports. Tudor Prince Date Day gives your time the temper of excellence. Tudor by Rolex at Fleischer's Jewelers of Maryland in the Queens Chillum Shopping Center in Hyattsville.
Deep left field. This has a chance. Orsolak back to the wall and makes a spectacular catch. Easy throws it away. Shu has scored. Gonzalez will score. Here comes Bill Rupka. He'll score. And the Orioles have won it. And you believe...
There's the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. The score here at the hockey game is 2-1. The Washington Capitals have the lead over the Hartford Whalers. Hartford got the only goal scored during that second period of play. Mike Bournes welcoming you back once again along with Al Koken. Similar in some ways to the Minnesota game the other night in that Hartford did the scoring, but at least the Whalers didn't get quite back into the game the same way I felt the North Stars did on Tuesday night. Maybe that's a mark in the Capitals' favor.
Well, and I think, the Capitals kept pushing. I thought Stephen Leach had made it a 3-0 game. He certainly did, lifting the his stick up, thinking he had scored a goal. But it was interesting, the Capitals in 5-on-5 situations, and even when they were down a man, did a very good job. But once it got 4-on-4, suddenly there was some more room for the Hartford Whalers, and they took advantage of it. Let's start first, though, by showing you the Washington shot chart on our TWA shot chart. Show you that they certainly weren't as productive as in the first period, and yet they still were getting some good quality chances down low. The one I alluded to, the best one by Stephen Leach, number 21, where he got it by Sidorkiewicz, only to have it come out the other end and not get in that net as it grazed that far goalpost. Also, David Christian and Mike Gartner a couple times very close in front with chances that Peter Sidorkiewicz was able to stop.
On the Whalers side, they come up with a goal this time, and it was a goal that was deflected past Clint Malarchuk. He really had no prayer of stopping it. A booming drive from the point taken by Randy Ladouceur. We'll show you on our TWA shot chart now for the Hartford Whalers where their shots came from. I noticed the Washington area in front of the Washington goal a little more crowded than it was during the first period.
Well, they did a better job, did the Whalers, of fighting in for their chances. But the Cote goal, as we'll show you on our replay here, really kind of comes because the Capitals, for the first time or not, are kind of out of balance. Look at this. You got 3 guys in this area for the Washington Capitals. That leaves Randy Ladouceur wide open with plenty of time, and also Sylvain Cote in good position. Now let's start the replay and show you. A couple of the Capitals come charging out. David Christian goes over to keep an eye on Cote, but before they can get him, Ladouceur winds up. Stop it right there. Now you see 2 guys coming at Ladouceur. This man, Scott Stevens, will go down, but he's not close enough to get in really the way of Ladouceur to stop the shot. And look how Sylvain Cote has made a little move here and is now in front to where he's going to be able to get the stick up and knock the puck down, and that will deflect it past Clint Malarchuk. Ladouceur, given room to shoot, gets it. Scott Stevens really is kind of in no man's land. He tries to do what he thinks is the best thing and get down to hopefully block the shot.
but the veteran Ladouceur is able to get it up and over him. And Cote, a defenseman normally not found in those type of positions, did a nice job of weaving away from David Christian and getting in front for that deflection. Can't fault Malarchuk. He certainly had no chance at it, but really for the first time all night, the Capitals, who have been in great position all evening long, were out of position with 3 men in the corner, allowing Ladouceur a great opportunity to get the play started.
Are you looking for anything more to happen during the third period because of Dineen running over Malarchuk in the second period?
I think yes, because of that, and also something else that you had mentioned, how the Whalers are fighting a little more to get in front. That goal's picked them up. They certainly showed it the rest of the stands that they know they're in it. The Capitals have to make sure that they do not allow Hartford to think that they're in it even more by getting another goal. Then it becomes that wide open game for anybody to take, as we talk about two teams that don't have a lot of firepower. If it's a 2-all hockey game, then a guy like Kevin Dineen, a guy like Ronnie Francis could decide it, or the flip side, the way Kevin Hatcher made that move the other night. But the Capitals want to get a little more comfortable third period and not have to scrap for their lives in an even hockey game. Okay, we're just about set to go for the start of period number 3. First, stay tuned for the Kodak People's Drugstore flashback.
Kodak and People's Drugstores present Flashback. It's December 8th, 1987, and the Flyers are beating the Bruins 4-2 at the Spectrum. Boston Pools goalie Reggie Lemelin, and at 18:48 of the third period, Flyers goalie Ron Hextall shoots the length of the ice.
It's surprising, I guess, after all these years that somebody hasn't scored a goal, as a goal, no matter how weak a shot. You know, you think one had slipped through sometime, but I'm glad to be the first.
A lot of people try Giant Discount Drug because of the convenience. But you know there's another reason that keeps them coming back? Reliability. Reliability means the prescription you need when you need it. That's why Giant Discount Drug fills more prescriptions per store than any other drug chain in the area. You know, it means a good value for your money. So find out just how reliable a drugstore can be by trying the convenient one. Giant Discount Drug.
There's a time to work, and there's a time to play, and there's a time to let your troubles slip away. Play the Maryland Lottery. Just step up, come on and play, so let the fun begin. Why don't you start today? Play the Maryland Lottery. You know this could be a lucky day.
Your participating Toyota dealer announces Grand Rebate 88, a big $1,000 direct distributor rebate at participating dealers on every new 88 Toyota in stock. Make your best deal, then get a $1,000 cash rebate on every new 88 Camry, Corolla, Tercel, and tough Toyota truck. Apply it to your purchase or keep a cool grand in your hand. See your participating Toyota dealer while you still have time. When the 88s are gone, so is the cash.
Washington Capitals game coverage on Home Team Sports is brought to you by Hardee's. We're out to win you over. Well, we're just about set to go for the third period of this game, and the Capitals have a 2-1 lead over the Hartford Whalers, who have come to within 1 goal because of a goal scored by Sylvain Cote during the second period, and we'll see what kind of a third period it turns out to be. Right now, here's Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Mike. Just an observation here from ice level. You've got to like the way the Washington Capitals rallied around Malarchuk when he was run in front of the net. It brings to mind some criticism in New York this week with regard to the suspension of Richer today after he had speared Norton. Many of the New York Islanders and many of the members of the Islanders organization somewhat concerned that Norton was not looked after by his teammates after the Richer incident. No one went after Richer, and some talk maybe the New York Islanders should bring some of their old players out of retirement, players like Nystrom and Gillies, that would not condone such an act as we saw at the Forum in Montreal earlier this week, right here on Home Team Sports on our Sports Channel America telecast of out-of-town National Hockey League action. So you got to like the way the Capitals are rallying around. Let's see if they can rally in the third period and join Mike Borns and Al Coker.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Taking a look at our statistical update for 2 period totals now. The Capitals, who had a huge lead in shots, now just 1 over the Hartford Whalers. Still have had more power play opportunity time. Nothing to show for it tonight with the extra man. The Whalers come back with a shot on the right wing side by Deneen Malarchuk, the kick save. The rebound shot wide of the net. Now at the side of the Washington goal, Murphy is knocked down on top of Malarchuk. The puck goes in the goal, but the red light, of course, cannot come on as play has been stopped. And now some jostling taking place at the side of that Washington net. As Clint Malarchuk was already down, thought he had the puck covered, and Larry Murphy was shoved over right on top of the Washington goaltender.
Certainly didn't take long for the scenario we talked about between periods to come true. Tippett is taken out of the play by Murphy. As he falls, he pushes Murphy onto Malarchuk. But now this is where Murphy takes exception. Look at Dave Tippett just continuing to jab and jab and jab.
Not stopping, is he?
Yeah, to his credit, there goes Larry Murphy right after him. Is not going to let him get away with it. Either is Scott Stevens or Mike Ridley. Grant Jennings open at the point, moves in, takes a good shot. This is a nice save by Malarchuk because he's got to kick his pad out. Gets a little piece of it. Tippett almost had the angle there. Murphy doing the job, and this is where the digging begins. Just a prime example, though, of each team doing exactly what they've got to do. The Whalers down by 1, you better start digging in there and taking an opportunity at that. But the Capitals have to fight back and prevent their goaltender from getting hit.
The puck shot into the crowd out of play. You know, the Adams division has not been very kind to the Whalers so far this year. They're 2-5-0 against teams in their own division. Yet they've done pretty well against Patrick division clubs. 3 wins out of 4 games played. And the Capitals, who are only 2-6-0 against Patrick division teams, have won both games they've played against Adams division clubs. And each club will tell you their division is the toughest. Caps have taken as many points out of the Adams division in only 2 games as they have out of the Patrick in 6 games. That's something that Washington needs to change. They need to get those points right in their own division. Of course, it doesn't mean take any less out of the Adams division, but you like to do well against your own divisional clubs. Certainly a big test of that coming up. Games in the next week here against New Jersey, a pair against the New York Islanders. Pittsburgh's coming to town a week from tonight.
And we'll see if Pittsburgh will be without Paul Coffey, who apparently separated his shoulder the other night in Toronto when hit by Brad Marsh. They've lost Doug Bodger because of the trade. Villa Siren has been nicked up and hurt. So this is going to be a defensive core that is very depleted for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Really putting Mario Lemieux and the offense under the gun. Not much defense for new goaltender Tom Barrasso. Now Jeff Courtnall is doubled over in pain, and I think he might have been speared. Well, look at the stick of Ed Kastelik. It is broken, lying about 10 feet away from Courtnall. Kastelik just walking over. Yeah, I mean,
shattered.
I'm not. I certainly did not. I saw a little stick work between the two of them, then look up to see where the puck was, and then look back down to see Jeff Courtnall. Now there is Kastelik. Courtnall, it's all in the middle of your screen.
Oh
yeah.
It is right
Courtnall moved past him. Ed Kastelik swung back with that stick. Really speared him, but I think this is maybe a case here. What happened the other night with Stéphane Richer, with none of the linesmen or the referee seeing it because the play is the other side. Now here goes Ed Kastelik, who's gotten a new stick. He's heading back to the bench. Courtnall is up.
If Bob Myers had seen that, that should be a major penalty and a game misconduct.
Well, he's heading over to the penalty box right now.
But if you don't stop them, I don't have anything to do with it. The replays.
He's upset about the replays up on the telescreen. In that regard, they're not supposed to have that of controversial plays. Now, we're seeing this on Home Team Sports, but this is not supposed to be played up if it's a controversial play. You see Kastelik spinning around, getting the stick in there on Courtnall, but obviously, I guess in that situation, Bob Myers or none of the linesmen were able to see it, and no penalty called, and Myers is upset because the replay is making him look bad in that sense.
I guess sometimes the truth hurts.
Awful tough to see everything going on the ice,
That's
but something like that, you would hope with these stick penalties, that at least one of the 3 officials on the ice will be able to see it.
You're not going to see everything that happens out there, but Myers was upset that the fans in the Capitol Center were able to see it on the telescreen and came over and issued a warning to the off-ice officials seated down at the timekeeper's table, who have absolutely nothing to do with whether that's shown or not. It's very frustrating for an official to have to look at a replay like that after you miss one. Here's Druce dumping it back inside the Hartford zone. Capitals lead 2-1. Lead pass from, oh, now here's Kastelik and Courtnall starting again up ice and swinging at one another. And Brian Murray screaming on the Washington bench. Here's Druce bumped off the play by Kastelik, the former Washington Capital. Wrist shot by Courtnall, right on goal. The save made by Sidorkiewicz. Back comes Brent Peterson. Throws it inside the Washington zone. Here's Scott Stevens. Off the skates of Steve Leach. Tippett gets in there, works it free. Now Stevens over to Leach. Here's Dineen, a high, hard shot that sails up off the glass. Courtnall bumped by Samuelson. Dineen back into his own zone. Works to center, gets across the line. Wrist shot, just under the glove of Malarchuk, but it misses the net wide. Franciscetti now throws a hit, bumping Samuelson to the ice. Here's Leach down the right wing, walking in, tries to set up Franciscetti. And it comes out of the zone right to Kevin Dineen. Dineen with Tippett and Samuelson across the line. Into the Washington end, a high, hard shot. Shouldered to the corner by Malarchuk and now cleared off the glass by Bob Gould and sent all the way down the ice. Grant Jennings to center. Lou Franciscetti. Back out to the red line. Ladouceur puts it inside the Washington zone. Here's Ledyard behind the net. And it's cleared all the way back into Whaler territory. Now in neutral ice, Ron Francis gets a step on Ledyard. Walks in. He's got Young. He passes, and Young scores. Ron Francis saw the opening with Scott Young breaking down the left wing. And although Young's a right-handed shot, he did a wonderful job of taking the pass and getting off a drive that beats Malarchuk. The game is tied.
Where this play really starts is back through the neutral zone, where a little mistake is made by Grant Ledyard. Hatcher's got to come cross ice to try and get Francis, but before David Christian can get back to help out on Scott Young, it is in the net. Now watch Grant Ledyard. As Ron Francis starts to spin, it's to the left. Now he's going up. Francis coming to the other side. That's where the opening develops. Hatcher comes cross ice, but you see Scott Young very quickly getting in there, and a beautiful pass to Young by Ron Francis, and this game is tied up. The Capitals' fears have been realized. Shades of the Minnesota game, where the Narstars came back from a 2-0 deficit, and now it becomes a scramble.
Scott Young's now got 7 goals on the season. He's a rookie and has really impressed the Whaler followers. Francis and McDermott get the assists at 3:45 of the third period. Young with 7 goals, 8 assists, and 15 points now. Averaging better than a point per game for the Whalers. At the point, Sheehy a drive. That's blocked in front. Ridley tries to get a shot off. Cote comes in to pressure him in the corner. Now Tippett hangs on with Miller behind the net. Puck cleared off the boards out to center. Langway's back to the red line to take it. Throws it behind the goal. Now the Capitals offside right at the Whaler blue line. There's a break in the action with the score. Washington 2, Hartford 2.
My folks just left.
Thank you.
When a man
The Subaru Justy gets you anywhere you want to go, less expensively than any other four-wheel drive car.
Mr. Potts, you're home. Of course. What brings you out on a night like this, James?
Up to $1,000 cash back from Subaru means a great deal on a great car.
Linesman Leon Stickle doing a little repair work on the ice before this face-off. Bengt Gustafsson will go against Ray Ferraro. The Whalers have scored the last 2 goals of this hockey game. Cote's goal in the second period, rookie Scott Young just moments ago. We're tied up at 2 with 15 minutes left in this third period.
Scott Stevens, a backhand shot. Quenneville stops that and clears, but now Stevens intercepts. Gustafson chasing the puck. Goes to the side of the goal. Centers. Just missing Gartner. And now Tippett gets it out of the zone to center ice to Quenneville. Quenneville across the line. Drop pass for Dineen. That play broken up. Murphy's tripped up. Dineen keeps it in the zone, but Scott Stevens takes it away. He works it out to center ice. Here comes Ivan Korovo charging in. Backhand shot off the side of the net. Korovo puts it back of the goal, looking for Gartner. It's steered up the boards to the point. Murphy bounces it wide of the Whaler net. Now Gartner looking for Korovo, brings it right out front, and there's Dineen to sweep it away. Capitals 2, Whalers 2. The shots are even as well at 23 per side. 14 minutes and 5 seconds to go here in this third period. Ron Francis. Taken away just inside the line. Larry Murphy comes up with it now for the Capitals. Out to John Druce at center. He pokes it to the blue line. Courtnall can't catch up with it. Druce charges in. He's bumped by Samuelson. Sylvain Turgeon up the board. Hatcher keeps it in play. Capital fans starting to clap. Here at the Capitol Center. Hunter's shot goes wide. Hunter spilled right in front of the net. Nothing called as Turgeon upended him. And I think getting his stick on John Druce in the process as well.
Plenty of Patrick Division action ahead here at the Capitol Center and on Home Team Sports. The New York Islanders will be in on Wednesday, November 23rd, right before Thanksgiving for Puck Night. 8 o'clock will be face-off time, and then the Pittsburgh Penguins with Mario Lemieux in for Painter Hat Night. Also an 8 o'clock face-off. That will be Friday, right after Thanksgiving. If you'd like to pick up your tickets, give Phone Charge a call right now. Area code 202-432-0200.
Al, have you noticed how Courtnall seems to be a particular target for the Whalers? I don't think it's only related to his scoring for the Capitals this year. I think they may have some axes to grind with him when he was a Bruin.
And remember, when he was a Bruin, he played a different role. He was more of a checker, fourth-line guy. He'd get out there and try and shake things up. He was more of a fighter, got into plenty of fights in a Bruin uniform. Now he's been asked to score.
Lattiser and Francischetti collide, and Lou Francischetti took the worst end of that. Now the puck goes over to McDermott. Out to center ice. Ledyard gives it to Hatcher. Back to the Whaler line. The puck cleared past Hatcher, but Bob Gould is back to help out. Now over to Stephen Leach. He gives to Kevin Hatcher. Gould is knocked down by McDermott. Here's Ledyard up to Francischetti. Thrown back inside the Hartford zone. Randy Lattiser out for Brent Peterson. Drives it back into the Washington end. Rod Langway back to get it. Lead pass for Kelly Miller. Out to center ice. Here's Miller across the line. Dumps it into the corner. Kleinendorst works it free. Now Dave Christian fires right to the goal mouth. Ridley was held up in front by Kleinendorst. Ridley digs the puck free off the backboard. Gives it to Kelly Miller. Miller walks in, a backhander, hits the skate at Quenneville. And now Bob Myers has his... Oh, McDermott comes in and runs Sheehy. Sheehy was tied up in the corner, and McDermott came in and took a flying leap into Neil Sheehy. Rod Langway was quick to follow on the heels of that. And now they're all tied up in the corner. Several players have fallen to the ice. Dave Christian and Kleinendorst are trying to get involved into it. They hold on to one another. But Langway and Sheehy are the Capitals involved at the center of all this. McDermott is being pried away by Rod Langway. And let's see if we can figure out who Sheehy's got in there, because
I think it's Tippett. It was number 15, Dave Tippett. I thought was the guy he originally got something going with. Remember the other night what happened to Mike Gartner getting in there as a third man on an altercation between Mo Mantha and Ivan Korovo. certainly that would apply here if Bob Myers saw it. But he hasn't seen much this evening, so there's always a question.
He had the whistle to his mouth and did not blow it until McDermott came in and threw that devastating hit after what you would assume would be the whistle. That hit that was thrown onto Neil Sheehy. You know, privately, Neil Sheehy has been told by several Whaler players that they believe that what he said about the way that team ganged up on Turgeon last year was true. But as a team, the Whalers will never admit that, and they want to go after him for saying it.
And neither will Sylvain Turgeon, because he's still got to play with these guys, but he should be indebted to Neil Sheehy for bringing that up, as should Sylvain Cote, because I'm sure it has made their lives less of a hassle in that Whaler locker room with some derogatory remarks. Again, it will be fascinating to see what Bob Myers will call if there is anything extra or if it evens it up once again. Now let's take a look at the beginning of it. There goes Neil Sheehy, number 15 down in the corner, and I think he's got Tippett, number 15 of Hartford. The sticks get up, a little swinging, and now watch as really 3 Hartford Whalers come flying in on Neil Sheehy. I mean, you've got your choice on if you want to make a third man in call. You've got 3 of them to pick from.
Well, you've heard about tear-away jerseys in the NFL. Where do you see Kleinendorf's sweater?
McDermott, 2 charging, game misconduct. Langlois, 2 charging. Anything else? Want to get Sheehy?
He only have 1 fight. You only shut up. 5 fight, 5 fight, 2 charge game, 2 charge. Nothing goes up. All right, I got him.
Tippett, 2 each high sticking.
All right, hold on. Tippett, 15.
Okay,
so we got 2 on. Left on the clock on green.
2 roughing, Tippett. 2 roughing.
2 roughing. Not high stick, okay. 2 roughing.
Let's take one more look at it, and it looks like Paul McDermott will be out of it. Line indoors. Ferraro, and in comes McDermott, going right at the head of Neil Sheehy, and it looks like he will definitely get the game misconduct. He is off the ice right now.
Washington, number 50, Neil Sheehy. 5 minutes for fighting. Time of the penalty is 8:06. Here we are again for Hartford. Number 15, Dave Tippett, gets 5 minutes for fighting, 2 minutes for roughing. Number 23, Paul McDermott, 2 minutes for charging in a game misconduct. For Washington, number 5, Rod Langway, 2 minutes for charging. Washington, number 15, Neil Sheehy, 5 minutes for fighting. And the calls come at 8:06.
Well, out of all that, Washington will get the power play, as the Whalers will have an extra 2-minute penalty to serve, plus McDermott is excused from the game. So let's see if Washington can make the power play count now. Kleinendorst has gone back to the Whaler dressing room to get another hockey sweater.
Let's also remember, too, Mike, 2 of the better Hartford Whaler penalty-killing forwards are Paul McDermott and Dave Tippett. They will both be out of action for this penalty, with McDermott done for the rest of the night.
Neither of the Capitals' goals have come on the power play tonight. And here's a great chance for them to get on the board with the extra man advantage. It would put them in the lead. But Ron Francis, short-handed, steals the puck and starts back for Hartford. Breaking in, he's got Brent Peterson in front, but Larry Murphy steals the puck. He starts back for Dave Christian. Christian across the blue line, gives it to Courtnall, a shot, and a save by Sidorkiewicz. And Sidorkiewicz moves it along. Courtnall fires from a bad angle. No goaltender in the net. And Samuelson was there. He deflects it. Now back to Murphy at the point. He feeds it over. Courtnall, a one-timer off the side of the goal. Back to the point for Larry Murphy. Rink wide. Oh, and Christian hits the goalpost as he one-times that shot on goal. The puck cleared to the point. Kept in by Scott Stevens with a good play. Over to Larry Murphy. Murphy back at the point. Now feeds it over to Courtnall. Jeff Courtnall for the Capitals. Hunter wants the puck in the corner. He gets it, centers it, and Christian fires wide. Courtnall a shot, and a save, a rebound shot, and a goal! gets the power play goal. The Capitals lead 3-2.
Just when it looked like the Capitals were going to have the puck go everywhere but in, here comes David Christian. Nice give and go. Courtnall drops it to Hunter, tries to get back into position for it. Hunter through. Now watch how this comes working its way back from the other side. Courtnall just barely misses it, but Sidorkiewicz is down. The defense is looking the other way, and there is David Christian to hammer it in. Courtnall down to Hunter, trying to work the give and go, but instead he slides it over to Christian for the first shot. Now there's the tuck-in attempt by Courtnall that walks across the goal line and is lying there. Easy pickings for David Christian. Power play hockey for the Capitals lead.
Courtnall and Hunter assisting on Christian's 11th goal of the season. He's the Capitals' goal-scoring leader. Time of the goal, 9:07 of the third period on the power play. Washington 3, Hartford 2. 10:25 to play in the third period. The crowd is alive. Corvo to Gartner. Gartner walking in, a wrist shot and a save, a rebound. That's cleared aside after Sidorkiewicz makes a save, seeing it through a crowd. Turgeon comes back for the Whalers, throws it inside the Washington zone, and the play is called offside, and the face-off will be out in neutral ice.
Capitals got to go with this momentum now. They've got to put another one on the board and put this thing away while they've got the opportunity. Hartford has to be a little bit dazed. They mounted an excellent comeback, but it seemed to be the Capitals that really were the team that got fired up by all the rough stuff. Coming to the defense of teammate Neil Sheehy, who was mugged in the corner, and the Capitals took that emotion, turned it into the power play goal. Now they can add to it and take control completely of this hockey game.
Crowd tonight, 16,382. 16,382 at the Capitol Center. Quenneville has it at the blue line, fires a shot. Malarchuk makes the glove save.
Mike, while we've got an opportunity, we'd like to say hello to Lee Robinson, who is normally among the good crowds out here at the Capitol Center. Longtime season ticket holder since section 223, seat 13, but he is home watching us tonight on Home Team Sports after an operation. So, Lee, we certainly wish you well. You get better soon and see you out here back at the Capitol Center.
You know, speaking of operations, while the Whalers have scratched John Anderson, Dave Babich, and Adam Burt tonight, they're missing Torrey Robertson, and what horrible luck. Another broken leg. This time no surgery, they're saying, but had just an awful experience breaking a leg that kept him out of all of last season, and now breaks the other one this year. I really wish that on anybody.
And he's a great guy. He really is a team leader. You may hate him when you're playing against him, but he is a classy guy.
Hunter a long drive. Sidorkiewicz makes the save. Into the corner, Bob Gould with it behind the net. He ends up with Quenneville, and Jody Hull starts out now to the blue line. Stick handles to center ice for Samuelson. Back to Larry Murphy in the Washington zone. Puck hurt off the glass. Franceschetti and Dineen swing sticks. Franceschetti has dropped his gloves and is just holding on.
And I think Franceschetti was about to get a penalty call. See if Dineen's entrance into this evens things out. I think Lou Franceschetti was definitely going to get a call on his own, and this may be the way it ends up to give the Whalers a power play opportunity. I think they'll get Franceschetti for slashing.
If anything, Louis was trying to drag Dineen into it by holding on to him. Let's check in now with Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Mike. Let's get everybody caught up to date on our Home Team Sports scoreboard. The Red Wings still with a 4-goal lead over the Boston Bruins in the third period, the Joe Louis Arena. Toronto now trailing by 2 in the second period at Winnipeg. The Bullets couldn't hold on to the lead, and they lose to the Celtics by 6. The same two teams right here at the Capitol Center. Tomorrow night, you'll see it live and exclusively on Home Team Sports. Our next telecast will be next Wednesday night. The New York Islanders will be in town, and we have an update from the Baltimore Arena after 2 periods. The Skipjacks and the Rochester Americans all tied up at 3-3. Let's go back upstairs.
Well, the Capitals were able to regain this lead on the power play. Now Hartford a chance to get back in it. Kerry Wilson will center. He'll face off against Bengt Gustafsson. Turgeon and Francis up on the forward lines. Rookie Scott Young out there along with Ulf Samuelsson manning the points.
Turgeon leads it too far for Kerry Wilson. Rod Langway simply returns the puck to the Whalers zone. Wilson, bumped by Gustafson, gets the pass ahead to Turgeon. And at the blue line, Hatcher takes him out. Hatcher can't clear. Wilson keeps it in to Turgeon. Now Hatcher drives it to the line, and Kelly Miller does the rest of the job, chopping it back into Whaler ice. Caps change up. Christian's out there now, along with Gould, Langway, and Hatcher. Here's Gould behind the net. Winds up off the board. Samuelson keeps it in. Over to the right point. Scott Young, a shot, and that is on goal, and Malarchuk makes the save. And Hatcher now very eager to keep Ron Francis away from in front of the net. So the Capitals seem to be going the extra mile to protect Malarchuk after that incident in the second period when Dineen ran him over.
Well, you know, Francis was going to take advantage of Malarchuk looking around, figuring he doesn't know where the puck is. I'll see if I can sneak in there and try and squeeze it away from him. But as soon as he came close, Kevin Hatcher and Rod Langway do the muscle work to keep Francis and the rest of the Whalers at bay. 1:08 left to go in the Francis Getty slashing call.
Clint Malarchuk in goal for Washington tonight against Peter Sidorkiewicz, a former Capital who's playing for the Whalers. Ken Regan in the nets for Toronto tonight at Winnipeg against Alain Chevrier. Jets with a 2-0 lead over Toronto in that game. Here's Langway at his own line. Rink-wide pass for Kelly Miller. Miller to Bob Gould. From behind the net, Sidorkiewicz works it up the boards. Gould jams up. Here comes Dineen to center ice. Sends it wide. And Langway is back after it. Dineen steals the puck in the corner. Tries to center. And Dave Christian comes up with possession. He works to center ice. Here's Christian at the Hartford blue line. 20 seconds left in the penalty. To Lou Francis-Getty. Capitals with Stevens and Hatcher out there now. Christian with Gustafson. Dineen on the Whaler power play with Ferraro and Young. Christian starts back shorthanded. Penalty's over. Francis-Getty back on the ice. And the Capitals at full strength. Grant Ledyard taps it off the board. Up to Courtnall, and as he charges in to get the puck, the play is called offside with 7:09 remaining in the third period.
Terrific work by the Capital penalty killers. Not only did they prevent the Whalers from getting the equalizer, but even if Hartford hadn't scored, but they had good pressure, that's the sort of thing that can build that momentum, that offensive rhythm that can carry over at even strength. This time they completely bottled the Whalers up, and they had absolutely no good scoring chances on the Capitals. Thanks to some excellent work of those penalty-killing forwards, Gould and Miller in particular, keeping the Whalers bottled up in their end for a good 10, 15 seconds.
Dean Evason out there now with Peterson on the left, Jody Hull on the right. The draw comes back to Cote. His shot blocked off the skate of Ledyard. It goes to the corner, and Hunter gives it to Kevin Hatcher. Over to John Druce on the right wing. Out to center ice. Cote back at his own line. He sends it in. And Ledyard goes to the corner. Up the board, skims it all the way down, back into Hartford ice. And as Cote goes back for it, icing is the call. There's a break in the action with the score. The Capitals 3 and the Whalers 2.
What's the difference between a fresh biscuit and Hardee's biscuit made fresh from scratch? This should give you some idea.
All clear.
Right.
Hardee's Rise and Shine biscuits, made fresh from scratch because we're out to win you over.
A final from Baltimore. The Skipjacks win by 4 goals and now won 8 of their last 11. Back upstairs.
Barry Murray certainly has got that team turned around. They had a 1 week where they didn't have to play any games, got a lot of skating in, and was able to get his system established. And the Skipjacks playing very well.
Courtnall breaks it free. A race for the puck. Leach hustles in after it. Gives to Courtnall. Courtnall in front, a backhand shot. And a save by Sidorkiewicz. Sidorkiewicz covers up and holds on.
Why did Stephen Leach make the right play here? He knew that the angle wasn't his to get this puck, but he knew if he neutralized the Whaler defender, he had some help. You see right there, he's more interested. You see where his stick position is? He's more interested in keeping that Whaler defender off than getting the puck himself, because he knew he wouldn't have had an opportunity to do anything with it. Here, Courtnall, who's got some momentum, can swoop in and make a good scoring chance. Excellent play by Stephen Leach to set up his line mate at that rush, Jeff Courtnall.
Turgeon breaking down the middle. Being held off by Scott Stevens, and Larry Murphy gets possession. He bounces it out to center ice. Grant Jennings plays it back inside the Washington zone. Dale Hunter against the sideboards. Works it free from Scott Young. Now Murphy ahead on the left wing. Courtnall fires a shot. Sidorkiewicz makes the save. Peter Sidorkiewicz has not played in the last 9 days. His last outing on November the 9th at Vancouver. That wound up a 1-1 tie in sudden death overtime, and he holds this one right between the pads off the hard drive from the left wing side. Actually only playing his 7th National Hockey League game tonight. He was, of course, involved in that trade with Dean Evason for David Jensen. While that trade has come under an awful lot of criticism, I still like the one that had Torrey Robertson and Greg Adams even up. Because now you swap Adams for Courtnall, and what you did, you traded Torrey Robertson to get Jeff Courtnall. I think that looks wonderful right now.
Certainly, with all the offense Jeff Courtnall's providing, it's really been the key now on the Capitals' power play. I'll give Larry Plow also a lot of credit, showing some loyalty to people who put time in the organization. And Peter Sidorkiewicz, he's got a guy in Richard Bourgeois who's making a ton of money. You'd think to be the logical choice to be the backup goaltender, but Sidorkiewicz has played in Binghamton for a number of years, played for Larry Plow, and he has credited Larry Plow for really sticking with him, help him get his game together, and he is being rewarded, and he's come up with some outstanding contests for the Hartford Whalers, and really is, because Mike Liut is definitely going to play at least 50 to 60 games. It's a good situation for a kid to get his ears wet in the National Hockey League and not be thrust into a real key situation. To be the backup goaltender, learn from a veteran like Mike Liut, and be ready when he gets called on. He's done a pretty good job so far tonight.
Sidorkiewicz played against the Capitals back on October 16th last year here in this building and lost by a score of 6-2. He's 25 years old and was born in Poland. And I don't mean Poland, Ohio. Quenneville shoots it back to the Washington line, and here's Langley ahead for Gartner, a breakaway. Gartner, a deke, a shot. He fires up high and wide of the net on a backhand drive. Now it's cleared up the boards. We've got a new number out there for Scott Kleinendorf. He's now wearing number 40. The puck taken off the sideboards to center, and Hatcher's back to play. Gartner with a breakaway opportunity and misses the goal. Going high and wide on a backhand drive. Now icing is the call.
I wonder who was more surprised to see Mike Gartner go to his backhand. Me or Peter Sidorkiewicz? I mean, you're always expecting Gartner to get that good forehand shot away. Give Mike credit for trying a little stick handling, trying something new. Looks like Sidorkiewicz is waiting for it. Mike sees a little room there, but can't get it in on that backhand side. But certainly shaking up the book. Everybody normally thinking Mike Gartner strictly as that forehand shooter without any deking at all, but comes in, sees as he's coming in a little bit on that right side, so he knows he's got a little room if he goes to that stick side, which is one area I think a lot of people feel that Sidorkiewicz may be weaker on that stick side than the glove hand side.
Here's Scott Stevens off the glass, out to center. Ladouceur across the line. Picked up by Stevens, and now Ledyard drives it back into the Hartford zone. Play is called icing. We'll bring the face-off once again back into Washington ice with 4:58 to go here in the third period. It's Pete Peters, who's ready to go. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pete gets the nod tomorrow night in New Jersey. You've got Malarchuk playing very, very well, but you need Peters to be hot in a big week coming up next week. Wouldn't be surprised if Peters gets the call, but we'll see. Can't second guess.
Certainly played some good
Warren
playoff
Strelo,
games.
that's for sure.
Certainly played some good playoff games against the Devils in New Jersey.
Want to wish the best of luck to the Chesapeake Bay Chiefs Hockey Club. They've got their bull and oyster roast coming up Sunday afternoon. Right here, it's the Capitals 3 and the Whalers 2. Here's Samuelson out to center ice. To Laddiser. Charging in is Grant Ledyard. Walks in front, a shot. Save made by Sidorkiewicz. And Turgeon grabs the rebound and clears to the sideboard. Now Ridley Steele tries to get it back to the point man. Turgeon and Miller hang on against the sideboard. And it's picked up by Samuelson to Turgeon at center ice. Takes the shot, tries to split the defense, and Stevens takes him down. And there's Malarchuk with a save on Scott Young. The Capitals' Scott Stevens clears it off the boards all the way down the ice, and Cote is back to get it. 4 minutes, 5 seconds to play in the third period. The Capitals lead the Whalers 3-2. Tippett with Ferraro, gets across the line. Pad save made by Malarchuk. Back to Kleinendorf, over to Cote, a shot. That's just wide, rebound! Oh, and Malarchuk makes a dazzling stop, sliding across the goal mouth. And Hatcher flips it out to center ice to take the pressure off. Cote out to center ice now for Ferraro. Dale Hunter shoots it back inside the Whalers zone. Lead pass on the left wing. Ferraro comes to center ice. Into the Washington zone. Kevin Hatcher takes the puck. Out to Gould. Gould knocked down and sitting on top of the puck. Finally the whistle blows. And play is stopped. Tippett standing over Bobby Gould, telling him to move, and Hunter has something to say to Tippett about that. Now Hunter gets pushed by Samuelson. And one of the Whalers was knocked down on the play. I think it was Dineen who got a shove from either Hatcher or Hunter in there close. Scott Stevens standing alongside to keep Tippett out of there. I'm glad to see the Capitals getting a little stirred up here. I thought the Whalers pushed them around in the first period. They shouldn't be pushed around by the Hartford Whalers. And the Caps have really toughened up, I think, ever since Malarchuk got that hit. You hate to see your goaltender get run, but it seems to have awakened the Washington Capitals.
Certainly also with that Sheehy incident. Here is the great work by Clint Malarchuk. Now this is the unbelievable stuff. First of all, Tippett's got a great chance and loses it. Ferraro, I don't know if he gets all of the shot that he wanted, but you can't take away that tremendous reaction of Malarchuk to get in on it. Here's where the Whalers also had a great chance, and the beautiful kick save on Scott Young that Malarchuk makes, as both Stevens and Ledyard combine to ride out the one Hartford attacker. So without some good back-checking work by the Capital forwards, Scott Young would have had a much better opportunity. As it was, he got a great shot off, and Clint Malarchuk had to make one of his better saves of the night.
Ron Francis tips it back inside the Washington zone. Lou Francischetti ties up, covers the puck as Kerry Wilson stands over him. And play is called with 3 minutes and 2 seconds to go here in the third period.
Larry Plow, the Whaler coach, trying to load up now offensively. Kerry Wilson, who normally plays out of center ice, is on that right side with Francis and Turgeon. Dineen and Ferraro and Young out there a lot. Now Young, remember, Scott Young is a winger. Scott Young is a right winger, but he is out there right now along with Ulf Samuelson playing defense. He will move up there on that left side for this faceoff, but you've got Scott Young, a rookie, who is out there to pair up with Samuelson. This is the power play unit out there for the Hartford Whalers. Very interesting situation as Larry Plow tries to get as many offensive players out there as possible with 3:02 left to go.
Francis, a left-hand shot, pulls the draw back to the point. Samuelson's drive blocked. Gustafson and Gartner get it out to center ice. Turgeon fires it right back in. Murphy stops it behind the net. Feeds it up the sideboards. Gustafson reaches for it and clears to the blue line, but not out. Kept in by Scott Young. Here's Murphy off the glass and sends it all the way back into Whaler territory. 2:35 to go, third period. Capitals 3, Whalers 2. Each side has scored once here in the third. Scott Young for Hartford, Dave Christian on the power play for Washington. Turgeon to the blue line, gets in. Stevens steals and clears it back out to center. Murphy behind the goal. Up the boards out to center. No icing. Cote back into his own zone to get it. Well, we'll see when Larry Flo decides to call Sidorkiewicz back to the bench. Play is stopped now out at center ice. As there are a minute and 59 seconds remaining in this game, in the third period of this game. And the Capitals holding a 1-goal lead. And Flo, who has made his return to the Whaler bench, is now coaching the Whalers for the third time in his career. He was the first player ever signed by Hartford from the Montreal Canadiens when Hartford was in the World Hockey Association. He's been the general manager of this team. He's been the color commentator. He's played for them and coached for them. And now gets his third opportunity behind the bench.
Pretty amazing. 16 consecutive years in one organization in all those different variety of positions. Kevin Dineen was called over by Flo and given instructions to tell Sidorkiewicz exactly when he is allowed to leave that net, under what circumstances, and the time left on the clock.
Here's Cote. To Lattiser. Moves it ahead to Tippett. The Whalers don't have the line out there yet that they'll want once the crunch goes on. Here's Christian. Knocked down by Hatcher and sent back to the corner. Now Dineen with the puck in the corner. Looks for Tippett. It goes behind the goal, and here's Langway back to the point. Cote keeps it in. Go! Whalers have it inside the Washington zone, but Sidorkiewicz is still in the net. Dineen ties up. Lattiser back into the corner. Ferraro hangs on. The Whalers wouldn't mind getting a face-off right now if they have to settle for one. At least it would be in Washington ice. The Capitals want to clear that puck, and Ridley does. All the way to the point. Cote keeps it in, and now Miller steers it out to center, taking some of the pressure off. 1 minute to go. Third period of play. Capitals in the lead by 1. It's 3-2. Here goes Sidorkiewicz making his move to the bench. As the Whalers dump it in, the puck stolen. Christian works it to center ice, but it goes all the way back inside the Whalers zone, and Samuelson is there to get it. Out to Turgeon. Left wing side to Ron Francis. Francis centers it right in front. Hunter breaks up the play with the help of Scott Stevens. And Stephen Leach cuts the center ice. He's across the line. Bumped as the puck was in the corner. Samuelson back to get it. Off the sideboards, and Hunter reaches in, but Francis out there now with Wilson and Jody Hall, with Turgeon and Scott Young and Samuelson. Into the corner for Ron Francis. Back of the goal. Hunter has possession of the puck. He clears it up the sideboard. Hall steals, fires, and a save made by Malarchuk. And he holds on with 4 seconds left. And this will set up a pretty dangerous face-off situation. The Whalers have plenty of time, and the Capitals will have to really be on their guard to keep Hartford from getting possession and then from getting a shot.
Imagine Larry Flo will take his time out, set up strategy, and give these guys a little bit of a rest. All the Hartford players looking over the bench, and now he is signaling them over and will call timeout. 4 seconds, more than enough time to work the face-off play. Capitals will also get their key people with a little bit of a breather. It's kind of interesting, Mike, to see who some of the people Brian Murray has tremendous confidence in. You've got 2 young players, John Druce and Stephen Leach, were out there playing forward on that last shift along with Dale Hunter. So it's kind of a, here you got a couple of young players not used to these type of situations, and yet those are the type of skills they have. Great strength, speed, anticipation, and Brian Murray showing a lot of faith in those young players. Scott Stevens and Rod Langway are the 2 defensemen out there. This will also be interesting, too, to see if Rod Langway will take the face-off or if it will be Dale Hunter. Hunter is the man who normally takes the key draws, but sometimes in these situations, just in an effort to try and tie the other man up, Rod Langway will get in there. Not necessarily to win the draw, but just to create enough problems once the puck is dropped to let those seconds tick off and not give Hartford a clean chance at it. So
I think it'll be Hunter in this instance, because I think with 4 seconds left as opposed to maybe 2, I think Brian Murray is going to want Langway to be right in front of that goal. But it's an interesting situation that you pose, and we'll see how Brian's mind works here and see what he decides to do.
And Brian also uses a third defenseman out there with Kevin Hatcher joining Kelly Miller, Hunter, Langway, and Stevens. And it looks like it will be Hunter against Francis.
The Whalers will be trying to get the draw to Samuelson at the point. They succeeded in that before. So again, Francis, the left-hand shot. Hunter also is a lefty, and I think he'd be better there with a righty, but no, Hunter wins the draw and clears it out, and that does it. Hunter gets the job done, and the Capitals clear it all the way down the ice, but the game is over. The Washington Capitals have won it. The final score is 3-2. Shots on goal in the third period. Hartford with 11 for a game total of 30 on the night. And Washington with 12 shots in the third period, a game total of 32. The Capitals win their 7th game of the season. They are now 7-9-2 and have 16 points. And they move ahead of the New York Islanders and out of the 5th place spot in the Patrick Division. They now trail the Philadelphia Flyers by just 1 point in the Patrick Division race. The Whalers are now 7-11-1. They stay at 15 points, 4th in the Adams Division, with only a 1-point lead over the Quebec Nordiques in the Adams Division race. Now here's Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Mike. Dave, big win here for the hockey club. Nice to see the club win 2 in a row, I imagine.
Yeah, it's been a while. We haven't done it this season. Hopefully we can get some type of roll going, try to move up a little bit in the division.
Okay, you had that game-winning goal on the power play. Describe it for us as we got to look at the monitor.
Well, I think Dale gave me a nice pass, and I missed one just earlier. The puck went back behind the net, and Jeff Portnoy walked out and tried to stuff it. And I think it went off the post closest to him. It came back across the crease to where I was, standing right beside the net.
Was this one a little closer than it had to be?
Yeah, I think things went so well for us in the first period. We kind of let up. They started to play a little bit better, and we just really didn't finish and didn't put them away like we would have hoped to.
I'll keep on winning.
We hope to.
All right, Dave Christian, thank you for the visit. Go on in there, and I'm going to turn around right here because I understand the #1 star of the hockey game standing here, Clint Malarchuk. Another great game, another big win.
Well, thanks, Jeff. I think the guys, it was another great team effort. We had a couple lapses, but it got a little rough out there, and we woke up. We were starting to fall asleep, I think, for a bit there. We got the 2-0 lead, and the guys played great, I thought.
Hartford came back in the hockey game. I thought they kind of gained some momentum after they ran at you there in front of the net.
Yeah, I think they started putting a little traffic and, trying to run me over a little bit, and it's part of the game, I guess, but they did pick up after that. I think that got them going, and I know Kevin Dineen quite well. I played with him in the Rendezvous tournament, and he's a real competitor, and, it's perfect timing. A guy would take a shot, and he'd run you over like that, but, I think I've been throwing off horses harder than that.
All right, I bet you have. Now, obviously, we're pleased to see your teammates come to your rescue. There's some criticism of the Islanders this week with the incident involving Stéphane Richer and Norton. Your teammates were right there behind you and let everybody know that they were not going to let their goaltender be bothered at any time.
Well, there's the unwritten rule, of course, that you always protect your goaltender, but I think that should apply to any player. Anytime a guy's outnumbered in a bad position where he's getting roughed up, especially if he's a smaller guy or whatever, you got to stick up for each other, your family out there, and that's important. I think it carries over into the play all the time. It carries over in the dressing room and into the next game, so it's good team effort.
You made several key saves in that third period. We're going to get a look at the monitor, and maybe you can remember this one for us.
I'm not sure. Here we go again here. I'm not sure.
You got to remember these.
I'm supposed to remember these. I think this is a big scramble. This one guy came across. I just kind of scrambled. I got a piece of it. The guy actually had a pretty good chance. He didn't get a lot of wood on the shot, and I got across quick, and I guess that was the key. But I almost found on it myself, because he kind of threw a change-up. And the thing was, they got their second goal that same way, just at opposite side, throwing it across the other way. So, it's good to get one out of two of them anyways.
Clint, you've been playing with a lot of confidence. Now, I got to believe with the club finally winning 2 in a row, the team's got to get some confidence.
Oh, I think so. You know, we hadn't won 2 in a row this year, and it was important to us that we get on some kind of roll, I think. And, you know, we've been playing some great hockey, and we haven't been, you know, it hasn't been, there's no justice in this game sometimes. You know, we haven't been getting the wins that sometimes we deserved. And so, you know, getting 2 in a row, I think, you know, should help everybody. You know, we go on the road now and playing in our division, I think the next 3 or 4 games. And, you know, we need that kind of confidence going that way.
Well, we know you're playing with a lot of confidence. Keep it up.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. Can I just say hi to some people back home, the 3 Sea Hags? I know they're watching on ACS, and everybody up in Grand Prairie. Thanks.
All right. Congratulations, and keep it going tomorrow night.
Okay, thanks again. Bye now.
Glenn Malarchuk, #1 star of the hockey game. The Capitals winning their 2nd in a row. They finally move out of the basement of the Patrick Division standings. We've got more of our post-game show ahead, but right now, our home team sports business report, then we'll be back with more.